Hi all, this is Simona Rich, and in this video I would like to share with you my thoughts about what is real spiritual progress, and I also have just written an article about it, so the article is going to be different from the video, so you may also decide to read the article because it contains more detail about what I consider to be true spiritual progress. And most people think that those who spiritually progress do so, for example, by reading spiritual books, attending spiritual events, maybe being in ashrams, following some guru, acting spiritual, but these are actually not signs of spiritual progress. These are the signs that the person has awakened and understood that there is spiritual hunger, that he wants to be more than he currently is. There is some kind of inner impulse to become more, to be better, that has awakened in him, but that doesn't actually constitute spiritual progress. It just means that the person has awakened to the fact that there's more to achieve, there are more steps to take, and unfortunately the masses, most people, they never even get the urge to spiritually progress. They grow physically, they grow mentally to a degree, not fully. They develop mentally, and unfortunately our education system doesn't allow people to develop mentally fully, but at least they do to some extent, and then the progress stops. There's not even an urge at all to start developing spiritually. But in some individuals this urge starts, and they start searching for something more in life. And as I told, they do it through spiritual books, reading spiritual books, following gurus, maybe joining some spiritual institutions, maybe joining religious institutions. But this isn't spiritual progress. Spiritual progress happens when you, when you allow life itself to make you develop. That's the spiritual progress. You're allowing life to perfect you. And unfortunately, most people don't allow this to happen, because if you really want to spiritually progress, there will be many beliefs to break. You will have to completely transform yourself. And this is too painful for many individuals, because they cannot let go of certain beliefs, they cannot let go of certain societal structures, they cannot let go of some maybe religious structures or cultural restrictions. They cannot let go of that, and their development stops. So life itself, even if you see a plant, it's always towards growth, towards perfection. So human beings also, they have this perfect human being to aspire to. I don't know how to describe it. It's like all of us want to achieve this perfection that is already in us. But our beliefs, the beliefs of the society in general, our cultural values, our religions, and things like this, they prevent us from doing it. And life always tries to make us perfect, but it will never force us to become perfect. So if we stop because there is some belief that we invested in, and we kind of know at the back of the mind that this is what's stopping us from fully developing, but we invested so much in that belief, maybe we believed it in so many years, or maybe our financial well-being, our status depends on that belief and we choose that over the truth, well, then we stop growing. Life will never force us to perfect ourselves if there is something that's more important to us. So this is what stops most individuals from really blossoming, really achieving perfection. That belief or some kind of cultural restriction, there's something man-made that stops most people from developing. And yes, deep inside they know that that's the case, but they just cannot acknowledge that to themselves. And yes, sometimes that means making a fool out of yourself if you invested a lot in some belief and you find out that it's not true. And so what's more important to you, the approval of others or the truth? So if you choose the truth, you will continue spiritually developing, and if you choose the approval of others, then you will stop. Life will never force you to develop further. So this is what spiritual development means, that you allow life itself to teach you, and life will always teach you. Every day you can progress if you're really loyal to the truth. If you're not, then you will be stuck. You can continue reading your spiritual books, new age materials, follow a guru, but you will never understand what spiritual progress is. But if you stick to the truth, and this is the most important for you, this development, this unfolding of yourself, and you even are willing to discard beliefs that you invested for many years, and you know that if you discard them, many people will be angered by your change of mind and so forth. If truth is more important than these things, you are going to achieve spiritual heights. And this is, you get so many gifts, but they are non-physical. But when you spiritually develop, your perception increases to such a degree that you look at people and you know who they are. From the tone of the voice, people can tell anything they want to you, but you know what they really mean, despite of what they can tell. So you become so much more aware, you understand yourself so much more, you become so much more confident, you understand how the world works, you gain so many benefits. But this cannot happen unless you really value truth above everything else, above your status, above your financial situation, above the approval of others, above everything. If you value the truth, if you keep wanting to develop yourself, then you will keep developing. Life itself always wants you to progress. You can see that in everything. As I said, even the plant shows that to you, that it always strives to achieve the perfection that's already in the seed. It tries to embody that. It's the same with human beings. Unfortunately, most people, they never develop to the degree that they are supposed to develop, to the perfection. They do not achieve that status of a perfect human being because they stop. It could be that further development will include alienating them from the family because they no longer subscribe to those beliefs and they choose family over their development. And as I told, there are so many reasons because of which people just stop developing. And that's so sad because the world is filled with humans that only have achieved half of what they are supposed to be. Humans that fail to achieve perfection. Humans that live as though they're already dead. They don't even enjoy their lives anymore because what people think of them, the money and stuff like this is more important than their own spiritual development. And it's unfortunate because we are all capable of achieving so much more, of becoming so much more perfect than we are. And anyway, what is the point of living if we are already as though dead? So for me, it's difficult to understand how people think, the ones that are led by life itself, or you can see God or higher self, universal energy or whatever else. They feel that they are led by it, and then they stop because they're faced with something that they cannot overcome, like they cannot get rid of some belief, they cannot acknowledge to themselves that they were wrong, they cannot acknowledge to others that they were wrong. And that's unfortunate. They stop growing. So this is the gist of the video, that it's not, your spiritual progress isn't shown by what kind of books you read, or what kind of institutions you attend, or what kind of guru you follow. There are plenty of people who have no idea what spirituality is, but they think they do because they're into New Age or following some guru. This is not spiritual progress. It just shows that they have awakened to that impulse to develop. But the way that people really develop is if they allow life, this universal energy, to lead them to perfection. It should be a natural thing for us to be led to perfection. Unfortunately, we are stopped due to the man-made things like certain principles that a country follows, or certain beliefs that a person has due to the family or the society in general, due to religious structures that the person subscribes to, and so forth. These man-made things that are non-physical, but these are structures, and they stop people from progressing, and so they live all their lives, but they are not fully grown up. So that's what you see when you spiritually develop, that the world is filled with children. They are not grown up. Their bodies are grown up. They can be even old, but they remain children because they haven't even started spiritually developing. They haven't even finished their mental development, let alone spiritual development. So the way to avoid such destiny of remaining a child all your life is to be willing to sacrifice the beliefs that no longer serve you, that you know that they are not true. Be willing to look beyond societal structures like cultural restrictions as well as religious restrictions and so forth, and just allow life. Just trust that life itself will develop you if you just allow this to happen. If you learn the lessons, if you're not afraid to let go of that which no longer serves you and you know which is false. So this is the way to really develop. Thank you for watching. God bless you. Take care.